What is going on, y'all? Xavier here, and today I'm back with another Make Academy lesson. If you're just joining us, I'm documenting my journey from complete beginner to running my own AI business. I'm following a 3-phase plan to get me there, but it all starts with mastering workflow automation. That's why we're speeding through these lessons. We're in the middle of the intermediate section now. Last week we covered aggregating arrays from bundles. Today we're going to be looking at different use cases for iterators and aggregators, then finishing up our current course with the final assessment. Now, if you want the full breakdown of my business plan, I'll link that video up there, but as you may already know, the AI landscape is changing very rapidly. So I'll be making another video explaining the direction I see this going and what I plan on doing about it. But without further ado, let's jump into today's lesson. All right, so we're back in our course, Introduction to Iterators and Array Aggregators. We're on Unit 4, which is Iterator and Array Aggregator use cases. This is a pretty short unit, about 5 slides, so it shouldn't take too long, and then we're gonna go into the 10-question assessment right after. So let's see what kind of scenarios they could come up with. I'll read this introduction. Welcome to the 4th unit of the Introduction to Iterators and Array Aggregators course in the Make Intermediate Learning Path. By now, you should know what iterators and aggregators are. In this unit, you will gain an understanding of where an iterator and an aggregator can be useful in Make. We will go through a couple of use cases and hopefully inspire you to create more in Make. Let's get to it. Okay, click Next. Get inspired with use cases. This unit is theory-based. We will explore a couple of different use cases using Make. Note that you don't need to build these scenarios, but feel free to open Make and explore them on your own. The goal here is to understand how an iterator and an aggregator can be useful in Make. We hope to give you some ideas, which can also serve as an inspiration for you to go on and try to build your own scenarios. We will also provide templates so you can see for yourself how these scenarios work from the inside. Let's get started. All right, so click Next. Use case example 1, updating contacts. Let's imagine Alex is moving to France from the UK. To continue communicating with his friends and family, all of his UK-based contacts will need the country code added to their phone number. This scenario will change all of the phone numbers under a contact in Google Contacts to add the UK country calling code. All right, so we got a couple bubbles we can click on. Looks like we're running an aggregator and an iterator and a filter. So let's see what this is talking about. Click on this first Google Contacts module here. Alex has 4 contacts on his list. The first module, Google Contacts, will produce a separate bundle for each contact in his Google Contacts list. Here on the image, you can see that there are 4 bundles as output, meaning there are 4 contacts on Alex's list. Every bundle has a lot of information about each contact: address, photo, phone number, etc. Alex may not need all of this information for his purposes. So we got contact list with a bunch of items. Let's click on this array aggregator. The array aggregator module will create one bundle as an output. Alex mapped it to extract only the information that he needs: contact ID and address, to establish if the user is in the UK, and the user's phone number. All right, so we're aggregating the contact list to only include certain information and put it all into one bundle. Next, we have our iterator. The iterator module will provide 4 separate new bundles to update, containing only the information needed that he has set up in the previous module: contact ID, address, and phone number. All right, so in this module, looks like we have our bundle as a collection, and in that collection, they gave us the contact ID. This array is the address, and then another array for the phone number. And then we have a filter here. The filter here is the crucial bit, as it will determine which bundles will be updated in the next module based on the set conditions. It does this by using the filters. Phone number does not contain +44, and address country contains GB, or Great Britain. If we do not add these filters, every contact, regardless of their location, would have +44 added to it. Notice on this image that only 2 bundles here passed the filter. This means that only 2 contacts match the filter criteria. Note that this scenario only works as intended for contacts with exactly 1 address and 1 phone number. Okay, so in our little setup filter screen here, we have in conditions the phone number and value, which is, I'm assuming, the address. And then in our text operators is does not contain, and in that field it's 44. And then we have an AND condition that tells us that the address and country code has a text operator of contains, and in the field is Great Britain. So in this little filter, it's telling us that if the phone number and the value does not contain a 44 and the address in country does contain Great Britain, it will pass through the filter. Meaning all of the contacts that do not have a +44 in their phone number and do have Great Britain in their contacts or addresses, it will pass through the filter. Basically only letting Great Britain phone numbers that don't have the update. Because remember this use case is updating contacts. So if we need to change them to 44, they won't already have that 44. But if they live in Great Britain, they will have that Great Britain in their address. So if these two conditions are met, we want them to be updated. We want the contacts to be updated. Then finally, we have our Google Contacts update a contact at the end here. Finally, the update a contact module maps the contact ID with the change that needs to be made. Add +44 and then the phone number. Note the space between the two sets of numbers. This means that 12345 becomes +44 space 12345. Remember that 2 bundles pass through the filter? This equals to 2 credits here. That means 2 contacts were updated in Google Contacts. Yeah, so this use case is, I want to say, a little bit lazy, because I mean, unless you got like 500 contacts that need to be updated, I don't see why you couldn't just like go into your phone or your contacts and just put +44 on the ones that needed it. I mean, it's just a very simple and, in my opinion, unnecessary example. I mean, I just think it's nice that we can understand what's going on here and kind of just break it down for ourselves. You know, that's one use case we could use with iterators and aggregators. So let's click next. Oh, and it says you can download this template here if you wanted to. I'm gonna click next. Use case 2, e-commerce. In this scenario, let's imagine Victoria works in an e-commerce startup that sells clothes. She wants to get information about products and customers' orders and convert that into an invoice. So we got 5 bubbles here for each module. Let's start with the parse. I think I've been saying this wrong. I've been saying JSON, but I've been hearing other people say JSON. I don't think it really matters, but yeah, I might be saying this wrong. JSON, whatever. First JSON module here. The first module, parse JSON, provides data of the specific order in a JSON. See, it's just easier to say JSON. Like JSON sounds so weird. So I'm gonna just say JSON, fuck it. The first module, parse JSON, provides data of the specific order in a JSON string. It outputs as an array, which contains 3 collections: t-shirt, dress, and jeans. In each output collection, you can see the name of each item, its size, and price. So we got our JSON, parse JSON format here with the output being, you know, the items. Then we have our iterator. The iterator module takes the single array and splits it into 3 separate bundles. Great, so iterating separates, because in this first JSON, it's in 1 bundle, and now in this iterator, it's 3 bundles. Then we have our text aggregator. The text aggregator module will compose a single string, mapping each property value with text. The text string will be used as part of the invoice that will be created. This outputs a single bundle. Okay, so changing the 3 bundles into 1 single bundle of text. Why we're separating it to put it back together in an aggregated text string, I don't know. Maybe if it's in a single bundle and you try to aggregate it into a different single bundle, it won't work. I really don't know. Seems a little counterproductive. Let's see. Then we have tools, set variable module. The set variable module uses a combination of numeric and array functions. Map will take the price value from the output bundle. Sum will add all 3 of them together. You don't need to worry about this for now. We'll cover the map function in the next course. Note that the value being mapped is from the JSON module. rather than the text aggregator. Okay, so the set variable module is mapping, and it's doing some kind of function using the JSON module information, not the aggregated or the iterated information from the previous two modules. Again, not really sure why. The information in the JSON module is in a single bundle, so we iterated it to aggregate it to not use it, is what I'm getting. I don't know. I really don't know what the point of this is. I mean, they're adding it. They're adding all of the items together, all of the prices of the items together that they got from the JSON. Okay, let's move on. Then we have a Google Drive create a file from text module. Finally, the last module, Google Drive create a file from text, combines the text string and order sum from the previous modules and creates an output, giving us our invoice. You can see the example of the invoice on the image below. So this is just turning it into a file, I guess, so you can go into Google Drive and just open it up, and then it just makes this invoice for, I'm assuming, the customer. Okay, so I'm not very familiar with e-commerce, but I mean, invoices are used in many different cases. This particular use case seems a little weird. I'm not gonna lie. It seems like you can just take the parsed JSON information and then put a set variable without separating it, and then re-aggregating it, and then just put that information in the Google Drive file. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Honestly, these use cases are a little, I'm sure it's to show a very simplistic scenario that isn't too complicated because we haven't learned all of the information yet. But yeah, I don't know. These use cases seem a little iffy, but also I'm no expert yet. So yeah, we're just taking made up information and turning it into an invoice, but with extra steps, I guess. Let's click next and see what else they got. An alternative approach. Great, so this seems like the same thing. Let's look back to the previous scenario. The same scenario can also be built in a different way. Note that the first three modules are exactly the same as in the previous scenario, so we will not go over them again here. Let's see what else they got added into this scenario that is already too much. We got another iterator. The difference comes in the second iterator, which enables us to create the total value of the items. Note that the source module for the second iterator here is the original parsed JSON module. This module is doing the same thing as the first module. It creates 3 separate bundles. These will be used by the next module to create the total value of the items. Okay, so we're taking the parsed JSON information that is outputted as a single bundle, putting it into an iterator to separate them into 3 bundles. And then from there, we are aggregating it back into a single bundle. And then from there, we're separating it again into 3 separate bundles. Am I missing something here? I'm lost a little bit, I'm not gonna lie. Let me just finish the scenario. Let's see, we got a numeric aggregator too. The numeric aggregator module is calculating the sum of all of the items from the previous iterator. The reason for the price *1 here in the value field is because you would usually have the quantity of line items in your data. As a workaround, multiplying the price by quantity gives the full amount for each item. In this case, it's 1. Notice that the final result is 140. This stands for the price sum of all items. Okay, so I don't really get this line item in your data, because it says this little *1 is for quantity of line items. I guess since there's 3 bundles, it would normally be a 3, but they're saying a workaround is just to put 1. So I don't really get that. They haven't really told us about that, but we're adding the values just like we did in the other one. So I get that we're doing the same thing. What I don't get is why they're making it so complicated. Because the text aggregator in the previous one put them all in one bundle so that this set variable could do some math to get the total amount of the prices for the items. And then this next scenario uses a numeric aggregator to just basically take the numbers of the prices. So same thing, different method. I mean, they kind of said that they were gonna do that, but man, the way they're doing it is crazy. Then we also have a compose a string and create a file from text. So let's click on this tools module. The tools compose a string module maps both the text from the first set of iterations, text aggregator, and the total value of the order, numeric aggregator, and one string. This outputs as one bundle. Okay, so turning the aggregated information into a single bundle, because this module results in a single bundle, but not with the other information, as in like the clothing, item, and like the price of it. But in this compose a string, the output, it shows all of that. It shows the name, size, the cost, and then it also shows the total at the bottom there. And this also makes it so you can like customize what is said. So like what whoever you're sending it to would see. How it says here are the details of your order. If you were to just try to go from this numeric aggregator to the Google Drive, you wouldn't be able to do it because this isn't outputted as a string, I believe. I mean, it's outputted as just a number. So let's go into our Google Drive to see what the final step would be in this process. Finally, the last module, Google Drive, create a file from text, creates an output of the previous compose a string module, creating our invoice. You can see the invoice example on the image below. Note that this will be the same as the previous scenario. I mean, we haven't used this module, but after configuring it, you would get the exact same thing as we got in the previous scenario, but just with extra steps added on top of the extra steps in the previous module. Don't know why you'd want to do that. This is definitely wasteful. I guess they're trying to show us the extent of the convolution that we can do here, right? So I'm gonna click next. Let's compare. As you have seen, in Make, it is possible to come to the same solution, but in different ways. This means that you can have different scenarios that use different modules, but in the end, make the same final outcome, such as the one here. The difference between the two scenarios that we have covered is that they use different modules. The first one uses 5 modules and the second one 7 modules. Also, the first one uses fewer credits than the second one. Note that instead of the Google Drive module, we could use any other communication module, such as email or instant messaging modules. We could also forego the set variable module in the first scenario and map the function directly in the Google Drive module. Yeah, that's what I said. Optimizing our scenario even more. Yeah, I don't know why they put that set variable module. Doesn't make any sense. But also this second scenario doesn't make any sense. I guess they want to show us how you can be wasteful with credits, but yeah, I don't know. Well, this one I can see being more valuable than the update contacts scenario use case that they gave us, because you know, like if you're like making invoices on a regular, you can just put like less work in by just putting the scenario in there and just changing the initial information that you're getting and changing into the invoice. But yeah, I don't even know how you would go about doing that other than this parse JSON module. But yeah, definitely wasteful in these last two scenarios. Just more useful, but more wasteful. And that's it for this unit. It says by now you should know how to use aggregators and iterators in a scenario, and some use cases where you can use an iterator and an aggregator. I guess kinda helpful. Definitely tests your abilities to spot flaws and waste, I guess. But this module was a little weird just because of the scenarios they gave us were kind of whack. You know what? I think we learned something today, anyways. So let's mark this test as complete so we can move on to our 10-question assessment. I'm gonna just power through this so that we can call it reps. You know the drill. 7 is passing, And they're definitely going to throw some curveball questions at us. So let's see what they got for us. All right. Question 1. Which of the following statements best describes an iterator? A data type composed of sets of key value pairs. That's the JSON. Was it JSON format, isn't it? Pretty sure. B, combining multiple bundles into a single bundle. That's aggregating. Splitting a single bundle into multiple bundles, for sure, right? Let's go. Which of the following statements best describes an array aggregator? Combining multiple bundles into a single bundle. Cool. Which of the following statements best describes parsing and make? Dude, easy. Bruh. I was getting a little too antsy with that one. Let's see. Analyzing and understanding the structure of data. I would have probably still got that one wrong. Wait. Parsing is the process of analyzing. Oh, okay. I actually did know that. Key value pairs is like the format, but I mean, this is asking to describe it. Whatever. We're right, but we're wrong, okay? Which of the following statements best describes JSON? See, this is the key value pairs one. Yeah, all right. You have a single bundle containing information on 3 books. Which module would you use to split this bundle into 3 separate bundles? What do we do to separate iterators? Cool. You have a single bundle containing information on 3 books. Which module would you use to extract only the names of the books into a single string? Only the names. Aggregating brings things together, and we're trying to get book names. So I'm gonna assume it's the text aggregator. So let's see if I'm right. Awesome. You have a single bundle containing information on 3 books. Which module would you use to aggregate fields, allowing you to create a new bundle with different properties? I'm gonna say array aggregator. Yikes. Let's see. It says the array aggregator module will create one bundle as an output. The iterator module will provide separate new bundles containing only the information needed. So iterator and array aggregator. I was half right, but to aggregate fields, allowing you to create a new bundle with different properties, you would have to use an iterator and an aggregator, an array aggregator, like combined maybe? That's what I'm getting from this. You gotta use both. What are the differences between a text aggregator and an array aggregator? A text aggregator allows you to aggregate numeric fields, and array aggregator composes multiple bundles from a single bundle. That's not it. A text aggregator parses text. I don't think that's right either. A text aggregator allows you to create a string. An array aggregator allows you to aggregate fields. That sounds right. A text aggregator allows you to aggregate fields. An array aggregator allows you to create a string. That doesn't sound right. Awesome. The Google Contacts module retrieves 5 contacts from an address book containing a name, address, phone number, email, memberships, and organization. What would the array aggregator allow you to do with this information? Compose a text string containing all of the contact information, aggregate fields to extract only the information that you need, or split each data type into an individual bundle. Well, splitting is iterators, and composing a string is text aggregators, so I'm gonna say B. Hey, let's go. All right, last question now. Which statement best describes key value pairs? We got this one, bro. A key is the array, and the value is an object. No, that's not it. A key is the bundle, and the value is a collection. I don't think that's it either. A key is a property, and the value is the property value. Yeah, that's definitely it. 100%. Did we pass? We freaking passed. Let's go. We missed like 3 questions, but honestly, I think they were stupid curveball questions again. Yeah, this one was describing parsing when I thought it was supposed to be describing JSON. This one, you have to use iterators and array aggregators, not just array aggregators. Oh, did I only miss 2 questions? Okay, anyways, yeah, those are the only 2 we missed. Kind of curveball questions, but whatever. That's gonna be it for today's video. Let's see what we got going on in the next course. Go to all courses, scroll down to the intermediate section. We just finished this introduction to iterators and array aggregators, and next we're getting into using get and map functions. So We're learning about functions now. 5 lessons, there's your description there, but this is really close to when I kind of left off last time, so definitely moving quickly through this, but that's gonna be it for this video. We'll definitely get into this and get some more knowledge for our repertoire. But with that being said, if you guys enjoyed any of this information or you found it interesting, please feel free to drop a like, comment your thoughts, or hit that subscribe button. That's gonna be it for me. Hope you guys are all doing well. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.